What is up, though, Lions fans? Hold on. Why do we have a black screen here? Um, if you guys can, okay, here we go. Sa, woo, freaking sa! What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P here. The Motor City Cats are back at it. We came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. We got a lot to cover today. There's news. But as you can see, as I come into this situation today, I'm not happy. I'm not happy, y'all. I've heard some things, and these things are concerning to me. I'm gonna try to play some audio for you guys. A lot of times when you do it from the desktop, it doesn't run the way that you want to run. Okay. But I'm gonna try to play some audio for you guys so you can understand why I'm frustrated. What up, the Tactical Sport? Tactical Sport is having a windstorm. And it's based off of what I heard, I might rather be trapped in a windstorm than dealing with what we're about to deal with. So let me go ahead and see if I can get this. If we can hear this. All right, let me see here. Let me see. Can you see the love tonight? All right. All right, we got okay, we got the audio player. All right. Now let me know if you can hear it. I'm gonna play a little bit of it. All right, let's start this. Can you guys hear that? No, you can't hear it. Okay. It's always something, bro. It is always something. Hold on, let me see. Let me check this. Do 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 do. Um. Okay. Let's see if we throw this in here. Okay. All right.
They got adjusted pretty quickly.
You should be able to hear it now, right? Can you hear it?
And how we do things, and pro personnel department obviously led by Rob Lohman, but the rest of the pro personnel department, we know Joe Keller, Justin Licker, Blake Ask, all those guys. I mean, that's basically their Super Bowl.
All right. So now that we got that fixed, now that we know that this can be heard, I'm just gonna move this out of the way here because we don't really need it in the shot. It's just an audio player. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, Brad Holmes, you said it's a little low. All right, hold on. Let me adjust it though. Let me adjust it. All right, we try to make sure that we have it for the people. The volume is there. I'm gonna put my volume up because I know my volume is low. All right, that should work. Let's put this up a little bit more. We'll put this up to the okay. All right, so we're gonna get into it. You know that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they are at the owners' meetings. And they offered up their assessments of things. So we're going to get right into the meat of it. We're going to get right into the nitty gritty. The meat of it in the nitty gritty is with Brad Holmes talking about the defensive line and Dan Campbell talking about the defensive line. Now, I just want to, I know the spot that it's at, but I'm going to get right to it. Okay. We're not going to waste any time. All right, is it here? Okay. Okay. What up, though, what up, though, Motown Mitch? Uh, so, so here's the thing. Brad Holmes mentions Levi Onwuzurike. Let's start with Levi Onwuzurike. Let's start there. Levi Onwuzurike with his 3 half sacks. Okay? With his 3 half sacks. Marcus Davenport. Did he also have 3 half sacks? I think he did. Josh Pascal, gonna allow him to do what he does pass rush wise. All right. We're gonna go from 2022 to 2024 because that's how long he's been on the team. In 2022, he had 2 sacks. In 2021 or 2023, he had 1 sack. In 2024, he had 2 sacks. I'm not prepared for this, y'all. I'm not prepared for see this and when people want to ask the question like why do you not trust in Brad Holmes? Do you not whatever? Okay? Free agency to me was a situation and where you could assuage my fears. What are my fears? My fears are just exactly what you just heard from Brad Holmes. That we like our guys and we are okay where we are because people are going to be coming back from injury. That is fine. I like Marcus Davenport. As a football player, he's a phenomenal player. He's not a phenomenal player 100% of the time because he's not available 100% of the time. And you can say, okay, well, nobody's available 100% of the time. Okay. That's fine. Can you give me 50%? No? Okay. Like I started at 50% because you want to start higher and go down. But I just wanted you to understand the disparity. I don't like hearing Brad Holmes talk like this. None of those people that he talked to you about got anywhere close to what you would call support for Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson came into the league as a rookie and got 9.5 sacks. Then the next year, he had 11.5 sacks. This year, he had 7.5 sacks after 5 games, and then he got injured. Okay, 5.5 games. He didn't make it all the way through game number 6. His, again, and I have to keep saying this because we want to talk about all these other players. Levi Onwuzurike, come on. I mean, I like what I like, okay, you do what you do against the run. I'm not saying these guys are bad, okay? And this is the other thing that I want people to understand. I'm not saying that these are bad players. What I'm saying is we got Lamar Jackson on the schedule this year. We got Jordan Love twice. We got Caleb Williams twice. We got freaking what's his name? What's that boy name out of Philadelphia? I really can't remember his name. Jalen Hurts. We got Jalen Hurts on the schedule. We got Patrick Mahomes on the schedule. Hopefully, Levi, he was doing good with his pressures. Hopefully, he can get sacks. I just don't. What he's telling me right now is that if he drafts a wide receiver in round 1, it's okay because he didn't think that the defensive line was a need. If we draft an offensive tackle or guard in the first round, it's okay because he didn't think that the defensive line was a need. If we draft a cornerback in the first round, if we draft a safety in the first round, if we draft a tight end in the first round, if we draft a center in the first round, if we draft a linebacker in the first round, other than Jihad Campbell, because Jihad Campbell solves a lot of problems. If we draft insert position here in the first round that is not on the defensive line, it is not either the defensive tackle or the edge position, it's okay because none of this stuff was a need. This is what Brad Holmes is telling you right damn now. So when you ask me about why I'm upset or what is it that can I just be patient? Yeah, this is exactly what I've been telling y'all. This is exactly what I've been saying. We like our guys, and that's okay. It's okay to like your guys. Listen, you know how sometimes, do any of y'all cook? Okay. Does anybody in the chat cook? Let me get a show of hands for the cookers in the chat. I don't think K Ain't Pressed is here. See, now this would be the time for K Ain't Pressed to be here because then she could talk about, cooking and something other than football like she likes to talk about. We ain't talking about men or anything of that nature because pause. Okay? All right, Tactical Sport, he cooks, right? And I know he cooks. He be doing oxtails, everything, right? I don't know, Tactical Sport, I don't know if you got any Jamaican in you. You know what I'm saying? I had some oxtails the other day. You know what I'm saying? We got this Jamaican food truck spot next to our food truck. You know what I'm talking about? So I be jerk chicken, everything. Got it all. You know what I'm saying? Beef patties, plantain, all of that. Anyway, sometimes when we cook, we like our food a certain way. When I cook, okay, I like my food well seasoned. My wife, being from Australia, ain't really on the seasoning train as I'm on, okay? So generally, when she cook, the salt come out. Or the Cajun spice come out. You know what I'm saying? The slap your mama come out. It's if y'all haven't heard of slap your mama, I'm not telling you to slap your mama. It's actually a season. It's called slap your mama, okay? The Lowry's come out. You know what I'm saying? The seasons are, the Tony, what's his name? What's his name? Tony, the Creole spice from the seasoning. Tony something. Anyway, okay, y'all probably know what I'm talking about. The little green can. What up, those salty pork chops? Salty pork chops, like his pork chops, salty. Apparently, sometimes when you cook for yourself, you cook in the way that you want to cook all the time. Actually, when you cook for yourself, you cook in the way that you want it to be cooked. And you like that personally. Okay? I'm not a person that eats sweet meat. I don't ever have anything sweet with my savory. I don't like that. Okay? Unless you're talking about, you know what I'm saying? When you got the turkey and you got the cranberry sauce, something like that. Cranberry sauce ain't overly sweet. It's rather tart, actually. But when you cook for yourself, you cook it in the way that you want to eat it. When you're cooking for everybody, you either tell them that they're going to have to eat it the way that you cook it, or you're going to have to adjust it. Right now, when we say let Brad Holmes cook, Brad Holmes is going to cook it the way he wants to cook it. And he's going to tell you he ain't adjusting nothing. So you better adjust your taste buds. I'm not trying to adjust my taste buds to the tune of 2 sacks over here, 1 sack over here, a couple half sacks over here, and then on the other side, I want you to, Hutch, you got to go out and get us 20 sacks. Because if you get 20 sacks, Hutch, guess how many we're going to have on the year? 25. This is why. Listen, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, okay, if you're on Twitter, yesterday, on the show, when I was talking about Cash Doll, LNU clipped that and they put it out on Twitter, okay? If you're on Twitter, go like the tweet, not now, okay, unless you got 2 devices. Sometimes, you can't do 2, I don't want you leaving. Okay, retweet it, quote tweet it, reach out to Cash Doll. Reach out to Cash Doll. Make sure, I don't know if she'll respond, but I feel like if enough Lions fans reach out to Cash Doll, she'll make sure to get the message that she needs to be recruiting Za'Darius Smith. Za'Darius, if you got to come back to Detroit on a 1-year, $5 million deal, 6, 7, 8 million, whatever it is that they feel like they can afford to pay you. Don't take a lowball offer. Don't want 1 year, $2 million. No, I'm not asking you to do nothing crazy. Come back here, please, because at the end of the day, if you walk into the season with Marcus Davenport as your starting edge rusher on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson, shout out 313 Thug Living. I'm just saying, if you okay, all right. I just want just in case we didn't know, okay, just in case we didn't know, I'm gonna do this, okay, because I've done this before, and this is where I get labeled a Davenport hater. I'm not a Marcus Davenport hater. Okay? We've got other sound from Dan Campbell where Dan Campbell, I don't know if you guys heard this. Dan Campbell goes on this spiel about the rehab of Marcus Davenport and we're checking on it all the time and it's going good, and the doctors are telling us this, and we know that if he's ahead of schedule, and if he can come out on the other side of this, man, he's going to be a good football player for us. Say it with me, class. If was a fifth, we would all be drunk. I don't personally drink. So if was a fifth, y'all would be drunk. Whoever drinks. Okay? If Marcus Davenport in 2016, got a freaking moth in here or something. If Marcus Davenport in 2016 played more than 13 games, if Marcus Davenport, the frick is this moth? If Marcus Davenport in 2018 played more than 13 games. If Marcus Davenport in 2019 played more than 13 games. If Marcus Davenport in 2020 played more than 11 games. If Marcus Davenport in 2021 played more than 11 games. If Marcus Davenport in 2022 played more than 15 games. If Marcus Davenport in 2023 played more than 4 games. If Marcus Davenport in 2024 played more than 2 games. He'd be a good football player for us. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? I just don't understand. Bro, the evidence shows you. The evidence in 2018, he missed 4 games. In 2019, he missed 4 games. In 2020, he missed 6 games. In 2021, he missed 6 games. In 2022, he only missed 2 games now. So we're like, oh, it's going up, right? In 2023, he missed 13 games. In 2024, he missed 15 games. Why are we not concerned about health? I'm crashing out. I'm crashing out, bro. I'm crashing out because this is not what I wanted to hear. This is not what I wanted to hear. Okay? Now, to be fair, this is smoke screen season. But also to be fair, when have Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell participated in the smoke screen season? Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, or Brad Campbell as I like to call them, generally will tell you the truth. You just have to listen. Generally, they will tell you truthful things. You just have to listen. Now, when he says we're open to trading up or trading back, that's fine. You're open to. But I really don't think that Brad Holmes is trading out of the first round. He's never done it. He's never done it. The only thing he's actually done is trade back into the first round to get J-Mo. Back into it. Like he made his pick, he picked touch, and then he went back into it. Okay? I'm going to get to the chat in a minute. I'm going to get to y'all in a minute. Because we gonna talk. This is gonna be heavy chat because I need to see your opinions and I need to understand how y'all are feeling about this situation. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I just turned my notice off. Oh, that was my. Okay. So let me get to this chat. Salty Pork Chop says, I put slap your mama on everything. It's my version of Old Bay. I'm kind of the same way. I got all 3 of the, the variations of it. So I don't put brown sugar and honey on my, no, the frick. No, bro. I don't put nothing sweet on my meat. Pause. Salty Pork Chop says, name me a team that has 2 15-plus sack dudes on a team. There isn't one. There is a dominant DE, and then there's a good compliment. Okay, Salty Pork Chops. I'm glad you said that. Who's the good compliment? Who's been a good compliment? There's a Batman and then there's a Robin, right? Batman is the superhero. Robin is the sidekick. Robin is the complement to Batman. Who was the complement on the other side? You know who the complement to Aiden Hutchinson is? Aleem McNeil. Guess what Dan Campbell said about Aleem McNeil today? You're not going to see him. I told you guys, you're not going to see him by training camp. You're probably not even going to see him by the beginning of the season, the early part of the season. He said, and I quote, it's about when he's healthy, fully healthy, when he's feeling good. He's starting the season on the pup. Okay, so now you've got Roy Lopez, and then you got Josh Pascal, who they want to play inside, right? Josh Pascal, to me, on the outside, yes, he's great against the run. Fine. Cool. I don't have a problem with anybody being great against the run because it's important to stop the run. You stop the run first, and then you're able to rush the passer because you're putting them in second and long and third and long situations if you stop the run effectively. Cool. Right? Josh Pascal has 2 sacks. That is his best season. 2 sacks. Levi Onwuzurike had 3 half sacks in his first fully healthy season. I think he only missed a game last season. Right? He had 3 half sacks, not 3.5, 3 half sacks. Okay? So if you thought, okay, oh, he had 1.5 sacks, so he didn't have a whole one. He had 3 half ones. Who is the complement? Marcus Davenport had 3 half sacks. Who is the complement to Aiden Hutchinson? Marcus Davenport, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Our team has 2 dominant defensive ends. They are named Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. But Marcus Davenport in the last 2 years has missed 13 games and 15 games. If you guys want to do the quick math, 13 plus 15 is 28. In the last 2 seasons, this man has missed 28 out of a possible 34 games. The most he's ever played is 15. He's done that once. Then after that, 13. He's done that twice. So who is it on the other side of Hutch that is dominant? Or not even dominant, who is a good complement? He's not on the roster. He's at Cash Doll's house. that's who the compliment on the other side of Hutch was. And we let him walk because we couldn't afford him because of the contracts that are coming up. Salty Pork Chop says, matter of fact, how many teams have 2 DEs that have 10 plus sacks? I can probably name 2. That's fine. Might I remind you, we got Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. Okay, now Joe Burrow's he's not mobile, but if you don't get him on the ground, he's going to carve you up for 400 yards with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. 400 plus. Do you want to see Terrion Arnold or DJ Reed trying to cover Jamar Chase for 3 seconds or 4 or 5? No, you don't want to see that, because if you give Jamar Chase 5 seconds, you're not going to be able to cover him. He's going to be open. This is what I'm saying, right? I'm sure that they will address, okay? Mr. Detroit says Kitty Cat's going to be out. I'm sure that they will address the edge position in the draft at some point. But at some point is not what I want to hear. I want to tell me, yeah, we're trading up We're trading up for Mike Green. I know it doesn't work that way because that would be a very, very big tip of the cap or tip of the cards, and that's not what you want to do. Okay. 313 Thug Living said JMO is going to retire a Lion. Speculation is a 5-year deal worth $200 million. I would hope, because I am the keeper of the JMO, the official keeper of the JMO. Can we chill? Let's get past the draft and we can crash out. I have to react to the information that I have. The information that I've been given is that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell love the defensive line already. Now, Dan Campbell said we're not done, and I hope Dan Campbell is the one. But what does "we're not done" mean? See, this is the thing. When you sing the praises of people that have done nothing praiseworthy, you whistling in the wind. And you know what they say about people that whistle in the wind, right? The spit comes back in their face. When you sing the praises, get your notepads out and write this down. When you sing the praises of people that have done nothing praiseworthy, you whistling in the wind. And you know what they say about whistling in the wind? Spit comes back in your face. It comes back in your face. D Knight says, I'm concerned about the D-line. McNeil won't be back until October. Hutch might not be the same. Pascal is slow. We need someone fast on the end because of these mobile quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams. Did I miss anyone? Jay Cruisin says, what up, though, Chef? It's been hard catching up. It's all good, man. I'm here at the same time every day. Let's table this convo until after the draft. If the Lions don't get a D in the draft, Holmes will get Z Smith. It's money game right now. We can't table this conversation until after the draft because we won't have anything to talk about. I'm just being real with you. I'm being 100% transparent. We react to the news as it comes out. What up, though, Mega Hustle? 313. Opposite of Hutch will be Z Smith. Just my smoked turkey knuckles penny take. I would love Zadarius Smith to be back. Now, the good news is Shamar Stewart coming in for a visit today. Official, pre-draft visit. Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M, 6'6", 280 or 260 now. He was 290 at playing weight. But ain't that something? Both of the defensive ends dropped 30 pounds after they left Texas A&M. 313 Thug Living says, I'll take our corners over Chase any day. No, I don't have the same sentiment. I don't feel the same way. You're not done because you're never done. Whistling in the wind like riding on Superman's cape. I guess this spit will come back in your face if you're riding on Superman's cape, right? I know a spitter when I see one. And then Jay Cruisin takes it to another level. Now listen. Are okay? So here's the opinion. Okay, let me put a poll in the chat. Shout out to Tufna. I can't remember her name. She ain't been here in a while. I'm gonna put this poll in chat because she always used to ask me to put polls in chat. TM Martin, that's what it was. TM Martin. All right. There's the poll. Let me get the votes. I'm just asking you here. All right. D Knight says, I think Brad wants S. Stewart, but he's just a bigger Pascal. Shamar Stewart, I don't think is a bigger Pascal. That was what they were saying about Nick Scorton, but we know that Nick Scorton looked like that because of the scheme at Texas A&M. My confidence in Shamar Stewart is this. If you draft Shamar Stewart, he will learn how to rush the passer from Marcus Davenport. Marcus Davenport's best season was when he had 9 sacks in 11 games. Marcus Davenport can get to the passer. He got to Matthew Stafford 3 times. He just wasn't able to finish him. Okay? So he can get to the passer. He has pass rush moves. He has a pass rush plan. I don't have a problem with Marcus Davenport's ability as a football player. I love Marcus Davenport, pause. As a football player, 6'6", 260, mean, violent, right? Quick, can power you, can swim over you, can do all types of things on the football field, but he's never on it. That's my problem. I want Marcus Davenport to be 100% healthy, but I'm not going to put all of my eggs in that basket. We saw that with Emmanuel Mosley. Everybody was rooting for Emmanuel Mosley. I don't think anybody has a problem with these players as people. I don't think anybody goes, well, Marcus Davenport's a turd, or Emmanuel Mosley was a turd, and I'm glad he's off the team. I wanted Emmanuel Mosley to come back this year as a coach. Right? Because I know that his locker room presence and the things that he can teach the young corners, particularly TA and Ennis Rakestraw, which are our young corners, right? Year 2 for both of them, invaluable stuff that he can teach them. But can he do it on the roster, taking up a roster spot? No, because he can't stay healthy. So invaluable stuff that Marcus Davenport will be able to teach Shamar Stewart. But is he going to be playing alongside Shamar Stewart for the entire season? I doubt it. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with this. So I really, really would love for Brad Holmes to go out and draft an edge in the first round. And I'll take back everything. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything take back worthy. All I'm saying is go draft an edge in the first round. Because and I've said this before, and you guys, I hope I'm not proven correct. If Brad Holmes drafts somebody other than an edge in the first round, we got to wait 24 hours to see when that thing gets addressed. So now you're going to go to bed, okay, after the first night of the draft, wondering when we're going to get the edge, bro. It's like when someone's in the green room and they start and they fall past where they thought they were going to go. I thought I was going to go number 5. And then you see the next team pick and the next team pick and the next, and it's pick 15 and you're like, wait a minute. I was supposed to be a top 5 pick. What's going on? And then they start crashing out inside, but they can't really crash out because the camera's on them. So they just got to sit there like, what's up? Oh, yeah. My homeboy got drafted. Yeah. They start tapping the foot. You know what I'm saying? And they want to shoot the camera to him every time somebody get drafted. Now we documenting the fall. Now we want to see what the dude face look like. Okay, that's what we're going to be like if we don't get that edge in the first round. So give us the edge in the first round and get us about the green room. You get your edge in the first round. You get your Mike Green. You get your Shamar Stewart. You get your Michael. I don't care. Get somebody. And a lot of these guys need to be shaped and molded. But you got them for 5 years opposite Hutch. And they could be molded into someone. Shamar Stewart is already excellent against the run. Okay? He already plays the run at an elite level. So you can get him, and then you can teach him with Marcus Davenport. You can teach him with Hutch. Okay? You can teach him with Casey Rogers, who is your defensive line coach. Right? So everyone can rally around this kid and teach him the ropes. Everyone. And that's the situation that you want to bring him into. But I don't want a second or a third round talent on the other side of the of Hutch. And then now you're trying to figure out, well, is what are your expectations? Right? Speaking of third round picks and expectations, there are, according to Brad Holmes, there are no expectations for Broderick Martin. The expectation is to poop or to get off the pot. That is the expectation for Broderick Martin this season. So the bill has come due for Brad Holmes. You know, and we're gonna get into some other stuff that he said, which was concerning. But I wanted to start it off with this. So Saul, let me get to your comments. Okay. Throw it off Kelly Stafford versus CJ GJ. I think Brad Holmes wants Shamar Stewart, but he's just a bigger pass guy. We need someone with speed on the end. It's like you're fast. If you're fast, the Lions don't want you. We really pissing in the wind, LOL. No, Shamar Stewart is highly athletic, bro. He's not slow. He's 6'6", 280. He's not. It's not slow. He's a big dude. I think he ran a 4.7 at that size. Salty Pork Chop says, for the casual Lions fan, Holmes has to say ish to make them feel good. For the diehards who look into the finer things like yourself, we wilding out and the offseason isn't even close to done. Yes, because we've seen, look, so what I go on is past indicators of behavior. When there's a pattern of behavior, okay? There's a pattern of Brad Holmes, and now I'm starting to sound like Derek. There's a pattern of Brad Holmes not addressing the defensive line until later. Okay? How many first round picks has Brad Holmes spent on the defensive line? Hutch and Hutch. Okay. This is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So to hear him say we're getting pretty heavy at the defensive line, to be honest, not to say we're not going to address it, like no position is going to go undressed, but it does based on the track record. Okay, this is why I also don't believe that Brad Holmes will trade out of the first round. He's never done it. Based on the track record. That's all I can go on. I can't tell the future. I can only use the past to try to predict what's likely to happen. If you are a person that has had 5 jobs and you've quit each job without having another one, you make bad decisions. However, you get job number 6. If I have to predict how it's going to go as far as the end of your tenure at that job, I'm going to say that you're probably going to quit the job without having another one because you've done it 5 times previously. This is going to be Brad Holmes' 5th draft, and he's only drafted a defensive lineman in the draft 1 time. I'm sorry, in the first round, 1 time. So these comments make me afraid that he's not going to address it in the first round. That's all I'm saying. He's trying to pay everyone while not taking on additional big contracts. I understand that. And I'm not really, my thing right now is if you had kept Za'Darius, renegotiated his salary, and didn't bring back Marcus Davenport, okay, that's $4.75 million that you have to spend with Za'Darius. And then you could have gotten him to an easier number. Okay, maybe $8 million. All right, because the $6 million, the extra $6 million that was going to be, or $5 million that was going to be on his, after the escalators kicked in. Okay, you were cutting him before that anyway. So if you said, okay, well, look, the number that we have for you is too high, we'll give you 8, maybe even 9. Okay, maybe we give you $9 million per year. I'm fine with that because you didn't bring back Marcus Davenport and you're not paying Marcus Davenport anything. I understand, like, the thing that Dan Campbell said about Marcus Davenport is you want to know, can this guy, are all of the injuries gonna, take it out of him? Is he gonna give up? But man, this guy was like, no, I want to go. I want to do such and such. I want to keep going. And that's great. And I hope 100% Marcus Davenport gets every cent of that $4.75 million, because that means that he has done what he was brought here to do. And that means he's finally become healthy and stayed healthy. Is that likely? Based off of the past indicators, it is not. That's all I'm saying. So now we're just saying, if you didn't bring back Za'Darius, so now we got to worry about the draft. And with him talking the way he's talking, I'm not confident that the first round is going to be where we go ahead and get our edge. And so, last year the talk was, and we don't know this, okay? It's just talk. Last year the talk was, if Jared Verse and Terrion Arnold were both available at the same time, they were still going to go Terrion Arnold. And then Jared Verse goes on to be the defensive rookie of the year. That's all I'm saying. The gamble is the injuries. Yep. That's what Brad is doing after studying. Brad is just cheap. He's the black Uncle Scrooge. He needs to be visited by the ghosts of Christmas playoffs. Brad thinks Hutch will be okay. That's a coin flip. Good riddance. Hutch, I'm not worried about. Hutch, it was a broken bone. Okay? A broken bone is something that you come back from. It's not a torn anything. It's a broken bone. You know what I mean? It doesn't really have much to do with your explosiveness or whatever. It's not a ligament. It's not a tendon. So it's fine. I don't think Hutch will be any different. The only thing different about Hutch would probably just be the mental. He has to be able to trust his leg, right? He has to be able to trust. Like the first time his leg gets hit by somebody else, he's gonna have a mental moment there, right? Because he's gonna remember what it felt like to snap that thing. That's all I'm worried about with Hutch. You might think you're going at 5, but these clubs got plans and every pick has a value assigned to it. You just ain't it. Right. And you're falling in the green room. We don't want to fall and be in the green room. Okay? We just want to get out of the green room very quickly. 313 Thug Living says 10-7. Goff will regress rapidly this season. Legacy signing by Holmes. Well, I don't know about all that. I don't know if he's going to regress. Salty Pork Chop says, why trash Goff? We don't have another option. Name one. And that's where I'm at with the Goff situation. Like, what's the contingency plan? If you're moving off of Goff, which we're not, what's the plan to replace him? Okay, because we saw what it was like to have Tim Boyle and David Blau and those guys play quarterback for us. I mean, hell, I'm not a fan of Stafford, but we saw what the quarterback play was before Stafford got here. You know, and Stafford was significantly better than, most anybody that we had before him. Jay Cruzen says, I've noticed almost every DE got injured except for Z. Right. He didn't get injured. That's a plus right there. McVay is a genius. He bamboozled Holmes into taking his trash the inside of the league. Internally knows Goof is limited and can't win the big one. Just being real, not sentimental. Yeah, I'll tell you, Trent Dilfer was not a better quarterback than Jared Goff, and he won a Super Bowl. Rex Grossman was not a better quarterback than Jared Goff. He got to the Super Bowl. There's only one, again, and I'll tell you again, the only issue with Jared Goff is the punches and bunches. Once he gets that fixed, then it'll be fine. I don't have a problem with Jared Goff's arm. I don't have a problem with his delivery. I don't have a problem with anything with Jared Goff except the punches and bunches. Once you get over that, because that's a mental thing, I believe. So once you get over that mental hurdle, I think he's fine. Jacoby Williams, what up, though? Brad has a thing for injured players because he was one and wanted a comeback story of his own. Now he's giving others a chance. I'm scared. Yes, we talked about that before. The car accident, he had a stroke. He was, one side, his right side was paralyzed. He had to get back to, all the physical therapy, learning how to walk again and all this. And then it took him 2 years to get back on the field, but he got back on the field in college. So, yes. That's the 100%. I believe that in the back of Brad's mind, or maybe it's even in the front of Brad's mind, he sees these injured players he sees himself in these injured players. And I think sometimes that clouds the judgment, especially with Marcus Davenport. Now, if you have a contingency plan for Marcus Davenport, I have no problems. Right? I'm not saying Marcus Davenport can't help this team. I'm not saying Marcus Davenport shouldn't be on this team. I'm not saying Marcus Davenport sucks. Again, Marcus Davenport is a phenomenal football player. He's a phenomenal football player. The only issue with Marcus Davenport is the availability. The best ability is availability, and he doesn't have that ability. That's all I'm saying. I'd love for him to get it, though. But the Lions just signed Kyle Allen. What's the difference among him, Tim Boyle, and David Blau? So Kyle Allen was brought in here to give Hendon Hooker a chance to prove he belongs in the NFL. If he can't beat out Kyle Allen, he doesn't belong in the NFL. That's pretty much what they're saying. So we know they brought in, they've said Hendon Hooker wasn't ready for the playoffs. And just like we said this before. So all the people that thought that Hendon Hooker was going to be involved in a trade for Max Crosby, or he was going to be involved in a trade for Myles Garrett, just like I said before, you don't bring in Teddy Bridgewater, who had just finished up coaching high school football, and put him in as your backup quarterback in the playoffs. And he actually had to go in and play a series. You don't do that if you have confidence in Hendon Hooker, right? So by doing that, you should have known that there was not going to be any trade partner looking for Hendon Hooker because, again, they read the tea leaves already. And it wasn't even really reading the tea leaves. It was pretty much out there. It was the book was open. It was just on the table, and you just had to walk by and read it. That Hendon Hooker wasn't ready to go. So he couldn't be a part of any trade package. Right? There was never going to be, before the Raiders got Geno Smith, they were never going to, ask you for Hendon Hooker so that they could insert him in as their starter. Why would they do that? You wouldn't even insert him in as your backup during the playoffs. Why would we insert him as our starter for the whole season? So that wasn't ever going to happen. How can Brad be so negligent to the D line when he was once one? Blows my mind. Um, bro, I don't know. It's just I so here's the thing with Brad Holmes. He may just believe he's hit on two D linemen. He's hit on Aleem McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson was the first round pick. Aleem McNeil was the third round pick. Those are the only two that he's hit on. Josh Pascal, as a defensive lineman, is okay. Right? He's not jumping off of the page. Levi Onwuzurike, he was hurt for most of the time, and in his lone healthy season, when he was supposed to hit the open market, he had 3 half sacks, and we brought him back on an incentive-laden $5.5 million deal because he didn't have the production that you thought he was going to have during camp. So I don't know. Maybe he just believes wholeheartedly his talent evaluation. Of course, there's Broderick Martin, who was a big miss. And in the third round, it's a bad pick. Teddy Bridgewater was brought by the bye week last game. It might be his fault for the playoffs loss. Teddy smuggled in shrooms. I don't think that happened. Might as well. Might as well give Joe Rockhead a suit if that's the case. Nah. No, sir. John Kaminsky retired early as a Lion, even as an edge. That's so wrong. Every angle. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Shout out Kaminsky. He will be missed in Detroit. He was really good for us as far as depth goes. So this is another issue. We lost another depth guy, so now we've got to do something else. Got to do something else. Yeah. So guys, if you have some mailbag questions, if you want to ask me some questions specifically, I got a bit of a late start today because I had a late finish yesterday. And then I'm going to have to play Mr. Dad today. Got to pick my son up from school. Then, 3 hours later, got to take him to soccer practice, or maybe 5 hours later, I got to pick him up from soccer practice, all while working around, what he's got going, because other people aren't going to school or other people aren't going to practice, the carpool thing. So let me know if y'all have any actual direct questions. We'll get into those. I'll get into some more sound from the owners' meetings tomorrow. We can have some more reactions to those. But if you do not have any more questions, and the results of the poll, okay? The results of the poll were, out of 11 votes, 72% said they were concerned, 27% said that they were not. So what was that, like 9-2 or what was it, 8-3 or something like that? That's probably closer to what it was, 8-3. So 8 votes said yes, concerned. 3 votes said no, not concerned. So it seems a little bit concerning. Broderick Martin was a terrible pick, a waste of draft capital, and a waste of a roster spot. We should get rid of him. This is his last year, according to reading the tea leaves on what Brad Holmes said about him. Yeah, he don't have much more time. He's got to poop or get off the pot. All right. So we will go ahead and get up out of here. I appreciate you guys for joining me. I know it was a bit of a short show today. Well, shortish. I mean, it was an hour, but we usually hang around and chop it up. But today I am just busy and I've got to get back on the road out here. So appreciate you once again. Motor City Cats back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are out. Peace.